welcome to United View, and welcome to the second road trip of this season as Man United travel to West London to take on Brentford in their first home game of the season. Am I looking forward to the game? Not particularly. Am I confident? Not particularly. You saw my predictions with Natalie Sawyer. I just got a bad feeling about this game. I really worry about us mentally. I really worry about how fragile we are in these early steps of Erik ten Hag. And it's like when match day comes, you have to remove the negativity regarding the signings, which is tough to do because the reason why we're in this situation is lack of. But also you have to remember that we're still trying to do new things tactically with a new manager, and he needs absolute time. And on top of that, we also need to remember that things are going to get worse before they get better. This is a long-term plan, or we want it to be with Ten Hag, where we're backing this manager, and the frustration is there right now because we feel like we haven't really seen it. We haven't seen that extensive backing. Ten Hag spoke yesterday in the press conference that obviously he'd prefer players in earlier because it's easier to work with, but he's happy with the recruitment team and what we're doing and what we're planning on doing, and he's confident we'll get more players in, and says we have to as well. Obviously, he's not going to throw the recruitment team under the bus in public, and I'm not expecting him to, so I don't mind that. But we need players and we need them fast. You look at the Ronaldo situation, we spoke about it this morning, it looks like he's staying, but the conversation just in a few weeks has changed completely from what is the best route out of the football club for him? How do we replace him because he wants to leave? Other people saying absolutely not, I want him to stay. And in the circus of Man United, within a couple of weeks, it was all about Rashford to PSG potentially. Arnautovic not happening, or was about to, then didn't. Rabiot, all these things, Cody Gakpo. So the conversation has moved on since Ronaldo, and he's probably the constant that's like, you know what, he has to stay now, and it looks like he will. And in terms of today's game, he absolutely has to start the game. He does. You know, people could be saying, oh, you were saying this, he should leave and all of this. Of course, but Manchester United comes first. The window's not shut yet, and he's still a Manchester United player. So he needs to start the game, in my opinion. 45 minutes against Rayo Vallecano, just over half an hour last week against Brighton. Surely he's got to have minutes in the tank to be able to start the game and see how long he can last, because one thing is clear, we can't play with a false nine. Not with Eriksen. Eriksen needs to play in his rightful position. You saw the quality ever so slightly go up in a bad performance as soon as he was playing in his rightful position. For me, that's where he has to play. We can't afford to have him at a false nine. Doesn't matter that it's Brentford, didn't matter that it was Brighton and we was at home first day of the season. He didn't see enough of the ball, he couldn't get on the ball enough, and he needs to start. Ronaldo needs to start, and Eriksen needs to go to his rightful position. What does he do with McTominay and Fred? You know, this is where we're going to learn a lot about Ten Hag. These are the interesting bits where we're still sussing out the manager. Does he go, I still believe in them and I haven't got my targets yet, so I'm not just going to panic? I've worked on McTominay and Fred throughout the week and told them exactly where they've gone wrong, so I'm expecting better, which we know what that could look like. We do know what that can look like. Or does the ruthless streak come out? Does he make changes? Has he seen enough of that to say, you know what, that wasn't good enough, I need to fix up in that area? It remains to be seen. I think, I got a feeling one of those might not play, especially if Eriksen drops back into midfield. I personally think we'll see Fred, Bruno and Eriksen in midfield. Personally, he still needs somebody to get about the pitch and win the ball. I don't think he can go Donny, Bruno and Eriksen. It's not something he's tried a lot as well. I think one of those miss out of McTominay and Fred, and I'm going to go with McTominay. I think he will miss out. Even though Fred came off before him, to be fair. But you don't know what Ten Hag's thinking. Another thing in terms of the Brentford situation, look, they're going to be confident coming off the back of a comeback against Leicester 2-2. And listen, if I'm Thomas Frank, and this is up to Martinez to sort out. If I'm Thomas Frank, I'm saying get on the angle, diagonal balls. Ivan Toney, you sit on him. It's his second game in the Premier League. It's his first game away from home. Let's test him out. They're calling him the Butcher. You know, a big signing from Ajax. He looks small. He looks like he's fragile. He might not be ready for the Premier League. These are the questions that if I'm Thomas Frank, I would pose to Manchester United. And then it's for Lisandro Martinez to shut that down, to be aggressive in the tackle, in which he did do sometimes against Danny Welbeck. Other times, looks a little bit too rash, you know, trying to jump in there. But other times, really calm on the ball, quite aggressive and sorted things out. And he should have gave away a penalty as well. So a little bit of good and bad, and he will come. But again, against a player like Ivan Toney, this is another perfect example of what the Premier League's all about. Big, strong striker. His movement's good. His hold-up play's good. Ivan Toney's good in the air. This is a good test for Lisandro Martinez, especially the way Brentford play. You got Mbeumo as well, and the likes of him running in behind. You look at what Danny Welbeck done, running in behind Harry Maguire, in between him and Lisandro Martinez and causing problems. Ivan Toney and Mbeumo will be looking to do that the whole time. So we've got to be at it. And one thing I do worry about us is just mentally. I just think we're mentally fragile. If we concede early, I'd see us doing what we did against Brighton, reverting to type. It's still early in the Ten Hag era. It's still early in working out how we're going to play, how to stick to the principles when it doesn't go right. Yes, there's going to be more space. Cam spoke about it in the tactical view on Monday, that it won't be like it was against Brighton. They're not going to set up like that. There will be more gaps, more space to play with Brentford, against Brentford, and we're going to have to exploit that. We're going to have to do it. I mean, if you look back to last season when we played Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium, first half we were absolutely awful. David De Gea dug us out of a hole, and then the game opened up and we started hitting them on the counter attack. Remember, was it Ronaldo, I think, set someone, then Fred goes on the gallop, gave it to Elanga, or Elanga scores the rebound, should I say. Rashford scored as well. I think Mason Greenwood scored as well. So we proved that, you know, at their stadium we can ride some of the wave, and then hopefully the game can open up. But also this is their first home game. This is a fragile Man United, a Man United that's going through another transition, and they're going to be absolutely at it. That's all Brentford know. That's all Brentford do. So I'm expecting a really difficult game. Luke Shaw / Malacia. Again, I want to see Malacia in there. Luke Shaw wasn't good enough. He wasn't. And I know the whole team wasn't good enough, so you could make wholesale changes. But in terms of viable options of somebody who you're looking at as potentially better, or he's new, so let's see what he can do and has looked good in pre-season, that's Tyrell Malacia. Aggressive in the tackle, he's quick. I think that he's on the front foot and wants to go forward, wants to go on the overlap or the underlap. We saw it in pre-season. I'm not saying he's going to come in and have a world if he plays, but we've bought the kid to test him out. Does Erik Ten Hag go with that? Does Erik Ten Hag trust him away from home, high pressure game after we've just lost? Or does he go with his senior players? Does he go with the players that, you know, thinks can get us out of a hole and then bring in Malacia when the team's more settled? But at the same time, I would counter that and say he went and got Malacia. You know, he's seen him play before in the Eredivisie. He wanted to bring him to Manchester United. There's no hiding places. At Manchester United, you have to be ready almost from the off, especially if the results aren't good and there's spots up for grabs. And Malacia I got no problems about him, you know, being nervous or seizing the opportunity. It's up to him to play. So I want to see Malacia come in there as well. Diogo Dalot needs to get back to what he was doing on tour. We know Aaron Wan-Bissaka's not going to play. It's going to be Dalot. So we have to be at it. We can't let Brentford start quick. I just think the thing we need most is an early goal. And I know it's an understatement or an obvious thing to say, but we do need an early goal. That just settles down the nerves. If Bruno would have scored that chance in the first sort of 10 minutes against Brighton, it would have been a completely different game. But at the end of the day, it wasn't, and we missed that chance, and then they go on to win the game. And lastly, I just want to touch on Marcus Rashford. For me, he needs to start producing. He almost needs one to go off the back of his arse or something, an accidental goal just to get him going. Something. He needs something. Erik Ten Hag said he's confident in him because he arrived in the right situations. But he just didn't score, and he trusts that he will score. So Marcus Rashford does need that confidence boost. He needs something to happen as well. So my prediction, you've seen it with Natalie Sawyer. I'm not going to go through it again. But I am worried. I'm not looking forward to the game. But my God, do we need a win, because the next game is Liverpool. Let me know your predicted 11 and let me know your predictions as well. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you guys check out the match view with Owen, Steph and Faz. They'll be down there at the studio. And then we'll have reaction from after the game as well. I'm out of here. Peace.